The horror comedy, or should I say comedy horror flick known as Piranha, was eventually a cult hit and a real crazy Jaws ripoff. And P.S. I thank y'all for enjoying this. I'm glad you all have enjoyed watching it. Now let's talk about this. Can you believe it's been 15 years since this version came out? Here's my review of the 2010 remake of Piranha, aka Piranha 3D. PT's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 2010 3D horror comedy Piranha, aka Piranha 3D, released by Dimension Films, directed by Alexandre Aja, written by Pete Goldfinger and Josh Stolberg. This serves as a remake to the 1978 classic and an entry to the film series. The film stars a pretty impressive cast that includes Elisabeth Shue, Am Scott, Jerry O'Connell, Ving Rhames, Jessica Szohr, Stephen R. McQueen, Christopher Lloyd, and Richard Dreyfuss. The film was released on this day, August 20th, 2010, and eventually became a big success. Anyway, it takes place during spring break on Lake Victoria, where a popular waterside resort is there, and then an underground tremor releases hundreds of prehistoric carnivorous piranhas into the lake. And the local cub must join forces with a band of unlikely strangers, though they are badly outnumbered, to destroy the ravenous creatures before everyone becomes fish food. Let's get into the story. Local fisherman Matthew Boyd is fishing in Lake Victoria, Arizona, when a small earthquake hits, splitting the lake floor and causing a whirlpool. Boyd falls in and is eaten by a school of prehistoric piranhas that emerge from the chasm. As spring break begins, college student Jake Forrester reunites with his old crush Kelly and meets her arrogant boyfriend Todd Dupree. Jake meets Derek Jones, a sleazy pornographer, as well as Danny, one of his actresses. Derek convinces Jake to show him good spots on the lake for filming a porno flick. Jake's mother, Sheriff Julie Forrester, searches for the missing Matt Boyd with Deputy Fallon. They find his mutilated corpse and contemplate closing the lake. But this is complicated by thousands of partying college students on spring break, which is important for bringing revenue to the small town. The next morning, a lone cliff diver is attacked and devoured by the piranhas. Jake's siblings, Zane and Laura, take a canoe to go fishing on a small sandbar island and become stranded in the middle of the lake due to Zane neglecting to properly secure the canoe. Jake runs into Kelly, who accepted Derek's invitation on board his boat, and meets Derek's other actress, Crystal, and his cameraman, Andrew. Julie takes a team of seismologist divers, Novak, Sam, and Paula, to the fissure. Novak speculates that the rift leads to a buried prehistoric lake. Paula and Sam scuba dive to the bottom and discover a big cavern filled with large piranha egg stalks. Both are eaten by the piranhas before they can alert the others. Novak and Julie find Paula's corpse and pull it onto the boat, capturing a lone piranha, which they take to Carl Goodman, a retired marine biologist who owns a fish pet store, with his wife. He explains that the piranha is a super aggressive prehistoric species known as Pygocentris natareri, or the original piranha, previously believed to have been extinct for over 2 million years, and theorizes that they must have survived through cannibalism. The species is able to vigorously devour its prey in seconds. Julie, Novak, Fallon, and Debbie Taylor Roberts try to evacuate the lake, but their warnings are ignored. The piranhas begin to attack the tourists, turning the party into a bloodbath. Novak boards a jet ski with a shotgun to help, while the rest of the team try to save the others. Almost everything in the lake is either grievously wounded or killed by the piranhas, including Todd, whose boat capsizes as he attempts to escape. Fallon makes a last stand, taking a boat motor and using its propeller as a makeshift chainsaw to kill some of the piranhas, but is seemingly killed in the process. Meanwhile, Jake spots Laura and Zane on the island and forces Derek to rescue them. Derek accidentally crashes the boat into some submerged rocks in the process, flooding the lower deck and causing the boat to begin sinking. Kelly is trapped in the galley while Derek, Crystal, and Andrew fall overboard. Andrew escapes to the shore, but Crystal is devoured and Derek is badly wounded. Danny manages to get a partially eaten Derek back on board, where he eventually dies. All right, now I'm going to the ending, final bit. All right, you've got 5 seconds to stop this video at once. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen this movie already, please continue once the 5 seconds are over with. Okay, you've been warned. Julie and Novak reach Jake on a speedboat and attach a rope to his boat. Julie, Donnie, Laura, and Zane start crossing the rope, but the piranhas latch onto Donnie's hair, causing her to fall into the water where she's ripped apart and devoured. The others make it across safely, but the rope comes loose. Jake ties the line to himself and goes to save Kelly, using Derek's corpse to distract the piranhas. He ties her to him and lights a flare after releasing the gas from stored propane tanks. Novak speeds up the boat away, just as the piranhas surround Jake and Kelly. They are dragged to safety as the propane tanks explode, killing most of the piranhas. A terrified Goodman calls Julie, who tells him that they seem to have killed most of the piranhas. Goodman tells her that the reproductive glands on the piranha they obtained were not mature. The piranhas that they have killed were merely juveniles. As Novak wonders aloud where the adult piranhas are, a human-sized adult piranha leaps out of the water and devours him. End of story. So what did I think of Piranha 3D? I gotta say, this is really outrageously bloody craziness and what have you. Definitely. This is more bloodier than even the original. 3 times bloodier. 3 times the blood, 3 times the monsters, and just as much of the TNA you're gonna get to see. Yeah, you're making correct. TNA galore in several parts of this one. Anyway, the film's director was Alexander Aja, who had recently done the remake of The Hills Have Eyes before this, as well as Mirrors. Now, I must admit, he does a pretty good job. Anyway, the film is pretty good and what have you. I really like this a whole lot. I kind of think I like it a little more than the original, but don't take my word for it. But that's just my opinion. The film did pretty well, going on to make $83 million worldwide on its $24 million budget. It was later followed by a sequel, Piranha 3DD, 2 years later, but unfortunately it did not do so hot. But I'll talk more about that in my review tomorrow. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's certified fresh at 75%, saying playing exactly to expectations for a movie about killer fish run amok. The film dishes out gore, guffaws, and gratuitous nudity with equal glee. I could have said that better myself. Metacritic has a score of 53. A tongue-in-cheek scholarly review of the movie was written for the journal Copia, I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, which reviewed the movie as if it were a documentary film. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave it an average C. Empire gave the film 3 out of 5 stars, saying, "Remember the film you hoped Snakes on a Plane would be? This is it. By any saying, Cinematic Sanders, meretricious trash, but thrown at you with such good-humored glee that it's hard to resist. It's a bumper sticker of a movie. Honk if you love tits and galore." Yeah, uh-oh. I said the word. That's titty a word. Uh-oh. The Associated Press said, "Run, don't walk. This film is hilariously, cleverly gory. Mere words cannot describe how awesomely gnarly this is, how hugely entertaining, and how urgently you must get yourself to the theater to see it like now." HollywoodLife.com called the film a campy masterpiece of a movie, adding, "If you have an ounce of fun in your body, you'll love this movie about killer piranhas that overtake a town of hotties in 3D." Sam Ackles said, "The gore, the nudity, the language, the gags, the characters, it's all always on the rise. Just when you think things cannot possibly get more ridiculous, that the film has peaked, Aja and his screenwriters Pete Goldfinger and Josh Stolberg managed to ram another syringe of adrenaline into its heart." The Hollywood Reporter referred to the film as a pitch perfect, guilty pleasure serving of late summer schlock that handedly nails the tongue in cheek spirit of the Roger Corman original. While saying Jaws it ain't, Aja exhibits little patience for such stuff as dramatic tension and tautly coiled suspense, and there are some undeniable choppy bits. But he never loses sight of the potential fun factor layout in Pete Goldfinger and Josh Stolberg's script. Yes, I thought I'd get most of the good reviews out of the way. Anyway, the score was composed by Michael Wanmacher, and it wasn't too bad. There's also a soundtrack which has a whole lot of songs. Mostly it's featuring mostly some hip hop artists, plus some dance and R&B and rap and what have you, which was fine and what have you. I will say the story's pretty good as well. The story written by Mr. Goldfinger and Mr. Stolberg is absolutely good. For the cast, we have Elisabeth Shue as Julie Forrester. I give her credit for what she had to offer. Playing Jake is Stephen R. McQueen, who, of course, was already big for playing Jeremy Gilbert on The Vampire Diaries. And, of course, he later went on to appear on Chicago Fire and Chicago PD as well. I'm sure you already know who Elisabeth Shue is. Adam Scott played Novak. I gotta say, he's pretty good. Of course, Scott, you might remember from TV's Parks and Recreation. Derek Jones, played by Jerry O'Connell. No need to introduce that guy. You've seen him in probably a lot of films. Kelly is played by Jessica Szohr, who of course appeared on numerous shows like My Wife and Kids, Joan of Arcadia, CSI Miami, and of course she was already big on Gossip Girl at the time. She also went on to appear in The Internship and Ted 2 as well. Kelly Brook as Danny. I've got to say, this gal's a hot one. Definitely. She's been in numerous men's magazines like Maxim and FHM. Riley Steele played Crystal. Now that's a pornographic actress. Affirmative. Ving Rhames, who I know from numerous films, is Deputy Fallon, good. Well, though he only appears in the first few minutes, Richard Dreyfuss, who you know from the original Jaws and other films, appears as Matt Boyd. And Christopher Lloyd played Mr. Goodman. I gotta say, all good. There's a host of others in YV. Too many to mention. Eli Roth actually appears in this as a wet t-shirt host, so you gotta give him credit for appearing in that. So with everything said, Piranha 3D is pretty bloody awesome and funny. I think this is a film that's worth looking into, even for the summer or even spring break or just whenever. If it's a guilty pleasure, then cool. So would I recommend Piranha 3D? The answer would be hell yeah, go for it. So what did you think of Piranha 3D? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. And now I'm happy to report I'm back up again, and I'm only 9 subscribers away from 1,000. Thank you, and keep up the good work. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of the sequel to this, Piranha 3DD. So I hope you enjoy this, And if you did, check out these other videos. In the upper left hand corner is my review of the original Piranha from 1978. The upper right hand corner is my re review of the classic of Jaws from 1975. Or if you'd like, check out my review of Snakes on a Plane from 2006 in the bottom left hand corner. In the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc. Then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.